let's settle this debate once and for all. Sour Patch Kids is one of the best candies ever made. Definitely better than Swedish Fish, if you know, you know. It starts off sour and then it's sweet and my mouth is watering just holding this. But I found a recipe on TikTok that shows us how to make this exact green one. So let's see which one is better. He starts by blooming his gelatine in some water. Gotta let that set up. And for this recipe, he's actually using real citrus. So he takes some lime and lemons and squeezes it into his saucepan. I have this lime juice right here that I'm just gonna pour in. Let's get it nice and sour. And a lemon. Next, he just eyeballs his sugar. And then he uses this thing called liquid pectin where he says it helps to set up jam. Maybe it gives it that like jammy texture. Kind of looks like corn syrup a little bit. Now he turns on his pan and then we add the gelatin. It should start boiling and then we add a little bit of color. I'm gonna add green, of course. I'm gonna turn off the heat because I could swear you're not supposed to boil gelatin or else it's not gonna set. But I'm also wondering because there's so much citrus if this is gonna set. But so far, it's looking green. Now he takes his Sour Patch Kids mold out of the freezer. I found this mold on Etsy and it looks so cool. Mine was in the freezer for a while, but it doesn't look as frosty as his. Next, he takes a syringe and we're gonna pipe the jelly right into the mold. Because the mold is cold, it's setting right up. It's already sticking. If this recipe actually works, it's gonna be such a game changer. So I'm gonna set it back in the freezer while we work on the coating. And now to give it that puckered sour taste, we need some citric acid. It's a powder that makes it super sour. And I'm just mixing it into a bowl with some sugar. Okay, our Sour Patch Kids have set. They feel kind of soft, but I think I'm gonna need a toothpick to help get this out. And here is our Sour Patch Kids. It's a little softer than the candy, but let's coat it. Okay, now let me get a few more out. And here we have the real Sour Patch Kids, and here we have TikTok. Honestly, they look super similar, except this one might be a little bit thicker and fatter, but color looks the same. I wouldn't be able to tell. He was able to stretch the real Sour Patch Kid. It's like the chewy gummy. That is so good. The best. And here's TikTok's. It's also a stretchy gummy, but it's also a lot softer. I made it extra sour. And you definitely taste the lime in there. Oh. I do feel like TikTok's could be a little bit firmer, but the flavor is spot on and I just can't believe that I was able to make Sour Patch Kids. So this round is going to TikTok. And his recipe gets 9 out of 10. But keep watching because we're gonna test some of the most iconic candies against TikTok recipes. These are classic Starburst candies. They're kind of like a fruit chew meets taffy. They come in little squares like this, and cherry has always been my favorite flavor. But it was really hard to find a good recipe for them, and the one I found from Nara Smith didn't give any direction. So I had to resort to Reddit, and I'm gonna mash the two recipes together to see if they work. Cause I'll be honest, I'm not entirely convinced hers actually worked out either. But she starts by blooming her gelatin, because at this point, I'm basically a gelatin expert. Let's give this a mix, and we'll let it bloom. Now into a saucepan, we're gonna add some coconut oil. Call me crazy, but I had no idea Starburst had coconut oil in it. Is it gonna taste coconutty? Corn syrup and sugar. And this is where Reddit is different from Nara Smith. They add condensed milk while she doesn't. But now we have to bring it up to a boil until it reaches 250 degrees. I hope this works. But even Starburst, yeah, like the candy chimed in and said, I'm a Starburst and I wouldn't even know how to make a Starburst. It does seem like one of those harder candies to make. Okay, we're not quite there yet, but it's weird because I just have a layer of oil sitting on top. It's not really mixing in with the sugar. Okay, so it's starting to mix together, but I still see just like a film of oil, which concerns me. Maybe once it reaches the right temperature, it'll all kind of mix together. The good news is it looks like it's starting to come together and there's no more coconut oil film. Phew! The Reddit directions were much clearer and it said not to pull too soon or else the candy will be too soft. So I gotta make sure it gets to 250 degrees. We're at temp. Let me turn this off. This is definitely giving more caramel than Starburst, but I'm gonna trust the process. Now back to Nara Smith's version where she adds gelatin. I'm gonna stir it until it completely dissolves. Oh, it's still super hot. And now she adds her flavoring. We have cherry concentrate and we're gonna color it with a little bit of red. Whew. That's cherry, all right. Okay, it's definitely looking like a melted Starburst. I'm excited for this. Oh, it's already starting to get kind of hard. Okay, only work fast. But now all I have to do is pour it into an oiled pan and let it sit for 1 hour, not 4 to 5 like she says. Whoa, I can already see the stringiness, which means I think we're gonna have a chew. I'm so excited for this. Somebody said, normal people? Oh, my husband is just gonna go get cherry Starburst. I'll let them go get it. Nara, sit down, wait another 6 hours, and I'll make you 9 cherry Starburst. It's fall, y'all, so we gotta have some caramel apple pops. Except they're not real apples, they're lollipops. Wait, this one kind of looks like an apple. But this TikTok recipe looks really good and even brought it up to the next level. The only problem is, to make this one candy, you need 3, maybe 4 different candies. She starts by sorting her Jolly Ranchers and getting only the green ones. Please have a lot of green. Tell me why this one is already unwrapped. That's all the green apple ones that are in there. Let's hope this is enough. But now she unwraps all of her green apple Jolly Ranchers into a bag and crushes them. Half of this recipe alone is just peeling the wrappers. They're so pretty. She even calls them little green crystals from heaven. But now we have the same lollipop mold that I have to fill each hole in with the green Jolly Ranchers first, and then one of these hard caramels. Is that gonna overflow? And now we melt everything in the oven for about 10 minutes. And hopefully it doesn't overflow. Our candies are fully melted, and now she takes a lollipop stick and just swirls them around so they mix up together. I'm honestly just impressed that they melted so well. Did not overflow. They already smell so appley. Now we insert the lollipop sticks. Oh, some did overflow. And now we just have to let it cool and harden back up while we melt more caramel. A microwave probably would have been better for this. Man, oh man, melting the caramel seems to be the hardest part because the edge is all burnt. The lollipops look so good, just like this. But now, let me go ahead and dip the lollipop into the caramel, and then I'm gonna place it on this silicone mat. This is good, but she's not done. We gotta top it with some green apple Pop Rocks. Yeah, for sure, I definitely think melting this in the microwave would have been a lot better. But somebody said, I've never ran to the kitchen so fast. Did you hear that? And here we have the classic caramel apple pops. And here we have TikTok's caramel apple pop rocks. Let's try the classic one first. Oh, it's hard. Oh, the caramel is very hard. We don't taste too much apple. I'm gonna need to cut into this. Oh, you barely see any greens. Are we mostly just caramel with a sliver of apple? Not getting much apple here. Let's try TikToks. There's so many things going on. The Pop Rocks are popping in my mouth, and then the caramel is still very chewy. But I want to get to the center where the apple flavor is. Oh yeah. It's appley, it's caramelly, it's pop rocky. You get all the different senses tingling in one bite. I love it. And it tastes really good too. The winner of this round definitely goes to TikTok. And I'm gonna give this recipe a 9 out of 10. It's been an hour and it's completely cooled and it's starting to set. But now I have to cover it up and pop it in the fridge for another 4 to 5 hours. And let's just hope I can pop it out of this baking pan. This might be controversial, but candy corn is ranked as the most hated candy ever, and this creator thinks it's the worst, period. And I'm not gonna disagree with her, but I'm gonna see if this TikTok version would be any better than these. So she starts by boiling off some sugar, corn syrup, and it looks like honey. I'm using every last drop of the honey bottle I have here. Hopefully it stretches to 1 tablespoon. Now we're gonna melt everything, bring it to a slight boil, and then we're gonna add some butter. And then I'm gonna have to let it melt and boil to 235 degrees, I'm guessing, softball stage. Okay, so once it's at temp, it looks like she adds in some powdered sugar and a little bit of vanilla. And she's really funny because she says to concoct this, it's corn syrup, sugar, vanilla, butter, powdered sugar. All on paper tend to make beautiful creations. But for it to make